First on the Gulf Coast with breaking news and weather. Fox 10 Midday starts now.
Good morning and thank you for looking into Fox 10 Midday at 11. It's Friday, January 9th. I'm Ashley Mitchell. We have a lot to share with you over the next hour. First, in our headlines today, it's been a violent week in the Port City and it only continued this morning with a shooting on Duval Street. Fox 10's Stephen Moody is live this morning. And Stephen, it's been a busy week for investigators, right?
Yeah, Ashlyn, that's right. We actually had a chance to go to a breaking news scene this morning on Duval Street. Police say that they got the call just before 6 o'clock this morning for a shooting there. And this is video from when we arrived just soon afterwards. Now you can see police there had Duval Street blocked off near Houston Street. One person was taken to the hospital. Their condition is unknown at this time, but investigators spent hours combing the scene. This is just one of several shootings to start the new year here in Mobile. The city's first homicide happened last week on January 2nd in front of a store on Katy Street. Police say a man was shot. The video from the scene showed several officers canvassing the areas, searching for information while neighbors watched. Then earlier this week, one person was killed after a shooting on Forest Park Drive on Tuesday. 76-year-old James Odom was later arrested that same day. He's charged with murder. And of course, over the weekend, a Mobile police officer was shot and 2 people were arrested and charged with a dozen counts of attempted murder after firing over 50 rounds at police during a standoff on Tuscaloosa Street. Earlier this week, Mobile Police Information Officer Roderick Miles called on the community to put an end to the violence.
And we have an opportunity to start afresh. And unfortunately, we still aren't practicing conflict resolution. And what that consists of as adults, to use your words and not necessarily go for a weapon that can cause bodily injury.
Now we're still working to get information on what led to this morning shooting, as well as an update on the victim's condition. When we get that, we'll be sure to bring that to you on air and of course online as well. Reporting live this morning here in Mobile, Stephen Moody, Fox 10 News.
All right, Stephen, thanks for the update there. In national news now, Minneapolis police removing barriers and opening streets today, just 2 days after Renee Nicole Good, a mother of 3, was shot and killed by a federal agent after allegedly swerving her car toward him. The incident sparking protests coast to coast after the Trump administration claimed the officer shot in self-defense. The investigation further dividing the nation and the Justice Department blocking state investigators from participating in the probe.
They have not been cut out. They don't have any jurisdiction in this investigation.
All we want in Minneapolis is justice and the truth.
It sounds like there will be no transparency, so they're going to put the spin that they want the public to believe on it because they're not being inclusive in their investigation.
And with more protests possible over the weekend, Governor Walz says he does not want additional help from the federal government, instead putting the Minnesota National Guard on standby. Well, meanwhile, tensions rising in Portland, Oregon after officials say 2 people were shot during an incident with federal immigration agents. According to the Department of Homeland Security, Customs and Border Protection agents were engaging in a targeted stop of a vehicle. Officials say it was carrying people with alleged ties to a Venezuelan gang. Now, DHS says the driver of the vehicle tried running over law enforcement after they identified themselves, causing an agent to fire off a weapon in self-defense. The car then escaping from the scene, and Portland police say they received reports of a man needing medical help.
Our officers responded. We found a male and a female with apparent gunshot wounds. Officers applied a tourniquet and summoned emergency medical personnel.
And right now, the FBI is investigating that shooting. While political prisoners are being released and oil policy is being realigned, President Trump says the Venezuelan government is giving the U.S. exactly what it wants, and that's expected to continue at least for now. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor explains.
The post-Maduro era ramping up in Venezuela with the release of high-profile political prisoners on Friday. Some have been behind bars for years, and most are part of the opposition to former leader Nicolas Maduro, who was arrested by the U.S. over the weekend.
What can I say? I'm happy. This incredible news that will finally happen, the release of these people deprived of their liberty.
President Trump called the move a smart gesture and claimed credit, saying he's working well with the new Venezuelan government.
We asked them to do that, and they've been great. They really have been. I mean, everything we've wanted, they've given us.
He also says the prisoner release prevented more military action, writing on social media, quote, "I have canceled the previously expected second wave of attacks, which looks like it will not be needed. But U.S. forces in the area remain on alert, and on Friday they seized another Venezuelan-linked oil tanker in the Caribbean."
There won't be revenge, but vindication when we give lessons and give examples of what peace diplomacy looks like.
It comes as the president meets with the heads of the 14 biggest American oil companies at the White House. He's trying to get them to invest $100 billion into Venezuela's oil market. But Big Oil says it once guarantees their money won't be stolen.
They lost billions of dollars in investments when the regime stole those assets. They stole those leases. They stole private property.
And the president says he'll meet with Venezuela opposition leader Maria Corina Machado next week at the White House. In Washington, Rebecca Caster, Fox News.
Well, hey there, folks. Meteorologist Matt Barentine. Good Friday, too. We do have a storm tracker alert to tell you about, but this is limited for today. Now, tomorrow it'll be a bit more widespread what we're going to be looking at for the possibility of strong to severe storms. So there's nuance here. So try listen to the nuance here. Let's look at the big map here. Severe outlook for today. Level 1, level 2 risk zones. The level 2 risk zone is for the inland counties and off to the west of 65. The level 1 risk zone is off to the east of 65, and frankly, I'm really not expecting much of anything in the level 1 risk zone here today. Most of this is going to be focused up here in the very northern part of our viewing area, and we're going to have to watch kind of the same areas over and over again because storms are developing across central Mississippi, and strong storms nonetheless, developing across central Mississippi, going up through Hattiesburg, and then they're traveling up towards central Alabama. Now, that leaves the very northern part of our area just kind of getting clipped by these storms, and it looks like we're going to see this kind of thing happen over and over again today and tonight before this whole system gets a kick and moves on. So that will leave for folks, you're in Sand Hill, you're in Chatham, you're up here in Millbury, you're up here in Coffeyville, Thomasville. These areas are going to see a number of showers and storms throughout the day today. It's going to be a rough day with probably some warnings at times in those areas. The rest of us, it's going to be kind of a nice spring day. Yeah, there'll be a few scattered showers. You can already see a little bit of this developing down here around Hurley and Loosedale. So we'll definitely get a little bit of scattered shower action. We won't go completely rain-free, say in Mobile or the Eastern Shore, but most of the stronger storms will stay confined up here to the north of us throughout the day. So once again, it's going to be for Greene County, for Washington County, for Clark County. Those are the areas we're going to have to keep a close eye on. Meanwhile, down in our metro areas, you'll probably be able to go out and do your thing here today. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your evening as well. Check in with Nicholas and Hannah tonight. They'll let you know if any storms are trying to develop a little bit farther south. But once again, it just doesn't look like that's going to happen through the day today. So it's going to be a limited, severe impact today here for our Friday, which is good news. I like that news. But the other news is that tomorrow it's going to be more of a widespread event. Here's 3 a.m. in the morning. You can see some lines of showers and storms. So now things are kind of getting kicked on through, and we'll likely start tomorrow morning with a more generalized rain and thunderstorm event with the possibility of some severe weather. It's a very low wind possibility, lower than today. So the concern levels aren't high, but it's something we'll definitely have to keep an eye on for you, and we certainly will. I'll have a lot more on this coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Matt. New on midday today, scary moments this morning in Robertsdale as a pickup truck runs into the back of a school bus. This all happened on Highway 59 and County Road 54. Officials say there were no injuries and the bus received little damage, thankfully. The school bus was heading to Robertsdale Elementary at the time of the crash. And this morning, we're learning more details about a child abuse investigation in 8 Mile. It involves a 14-year-old girl who deputies say was left alone for months. This all unfolded on Sunday when investigators were called to the Dollar General on Jarrett Road in 8 Mile when an employee noticed the girl's condition.
She was staggering. I could definitely tell something was wrong. And so I sat her down in a little chair outside the store and started asking her some questions, asking her if I could call her mom, if there was anything I could do. She ended up saying that she wanted me to call the ambulance.
And that called to an investigation by the Mobile County Sheriff's Department. Investigators discovered the child had been living alone with 7 dogs since February. Authorities say the girl told investigators that she had been living off food deliveries that her mom would send here and there. According to investigators, the girl had not seen her mom since last October.
One of the alarming things discovered during the search warrant was she had some writings that was titled how many times mom didn't come pick me up, and she had little hash marks. There were 87 hash marks.
Law enforcement says the child's mother, Marshall Pertia, and her stepfather, Eugene Medrano, moved to Pensacola for work and left their daughter because she did not want to leave her 2 service dogs. Medrano and Pertia have been charged with child abuse and several counts of animal cruelty as well. Well, what began as a simple traffic stop turns into a drug bust in Baldwin County. This is 30-year-old Lewis Jackson on your screen. Foley police say Jackson was initially pulled over on a traffic violation, but investigators say officers caught him trying to hide drugs by pouring them into a drink. Jackson now faces a drug trafficking charge for over 11 ounces of meth and tampering with physical evidence. Right now, he remains in the Baldwin County Jail on a more than $750,000 bond. It's 11:10 now, and Saraland is getting in on the Mardi Gras spirit. We'll take you there. Plus, the owners of the deadly bar fire in Switzerland were in court. What they are being charged with after the break. But first, Matt, tracking some severe weather.
Not yet, thankfully. Thankfully, no severe weather in our area as of yet. We just have some storms north of us. You can see the wind blowing around the Admiral camera here in downtown Mobile, so certainly turning a bit breezy here. The severe threat will be limited today. I will explain what that means straight ahead here on Fox 10 Midday.
Walmart Plus Assist offers 50% off a membership if you qualify for government assistance. So you get benefits like free delivery, and her sniffles turn into smiles faster than you can say sick day. 50% off Walmart Plus, 100% on moments that matter. Who knew?
Welcome back. It's 11:14 now, and a search is underway after a landfill collapses and buries dozens of workers under garbage in the Philippines. The avalanche of debris and garbage came racing down at a landfill in the village of Binaluia in Cebu City earlier this morning. Authorities say at least one person is dead, dozens are hurt, and at least 38 others remain missing. Rescuers were able to retrieve at least 13 people alive and are still searching for those who are trapped. The majority of those impacted were landfill workers. However, it remains unclear if any neighboring houses were impacted. Also today, the owners of a popular Swiss Alps bar that caught fire, killing dozens of people on New Year's Eve, are heading to court. Jack and Jessica Moretti, who also manage La Constellation Bar in Cron, Montana, arrived in court for questioning this morning. Over 40 people died in the blaze and more than 100 people were injured during the New Year's celebration. Prosecutors say the fire was likely caused by sparkling candles on top of champagne bottles that ignited the ceiling of the bar's basement, which was covered in a foam material used for soundproofing. Authorities are also looking into a possible lax in safety inspections, which they say had not been carried out since 2019. In the meantime, Luigi Mangione is due in federal court today. He's charged with killing then United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. It happened in Manhattan in 2024. Mangione's attorneys are set to argue he should not face capital punishment if convicted. In fact, they want the judge to drop the charge of murder through use of a firearm, which does carry the death penalty. The defense and prosecution disagree on a technical interpretation of the statute. Mangione's attorneys also want the judge to throw out a firearms charge. Now, a separate defense motion also argues the death penalty should be off the table completely, and it alleges a Justice Department conflict of interest that the DOJ denies.
All right, here is a live look at Pensacola Beach, and you can see it's busy. Look at all the folks down there on the beach right now. Can't blame them. It is actually a pretty nice day here in January. But I'll give a tip to all the dads out there. Do not take your kids on a warm winter day down to the beach, because they'll still get in the water and you'll be forced to go in with them. Don't do it. All right, storm tracker alert. Let's go ahead and talk about it. What we have going on is, the possibility of some strong to severe storms today, but this is going to be a very limited in scope possibility. I know you see all these colors here on the map, but really, if we're going to really color in the areas I'm concerned with, it's going to be about right here, and that's about it. It's going to be the northern corners of Greene County, Washington County, Clark County, and that's really about it. Now, that's not to say that we can't get some storms in other places, but these are the areas that are going to see the most of the weather here today. Tomorrow becomes more of a generalized, widespread event that we'll all get into, but today, once again, it'll be more focused here for inland areas. Now, this is the HRRR. It's just kind of running in a loop. So this isn't a current radar. This is a forecast, future cast here. And this is showing the storms kind of just going through this same area over and over again through central Mississippi, going into central Alabama, and just kind of brushing up against, once again, Greene County, Washington County, Clark County, getting the most action out of all this day. Meanwhile, for the rest of it, we're kind of outside that storm zone. We're going to get some scattered showers here and there, but overall, it's going to end up being a pretty good day. So this is what people, I hope, keep in mind here through the day. Not everybody is going to see rough weather today. In fact, it'll be a very limited area in our viewing area that will see it. Right now, it's already raining pretty hard. They're getting some nasty storms. It's pretty. We saw the beach there in Pensacola. Look great. Mobile's looking good right now, Eastern Shore. But up here, once again, northern Washington County, up in Clark County, we're getting some pretty nasty thunderstorms. None of these are at severe levels at the moment, so that is good news. But there's certainly heavy rain, and this is marching its way on through off to the north and east. So once again, the same areas are likely to get these showers and storms through the day today, and the rest of us, once again, being pretty quiet. So let's move on past today. Let's go to tomorrow. There will be a severe weather threat tomorrow, but it will be it'll be a lower end severe risk, but more people will experience experience it because it's going to be more widespread tomorrow as this whole system is kicking on through. And you can see likely is dealing with some strong storms there tomorrow morning. And then by noon, still a few showers and thunderstorms around, gradually wrapping up as we head into the afternoon. So more widespread rain tomorrow. Very low wind threat of severe weather for us tomorrow as well. Today, once again, for a lot of us, it's going to turn out to be a pretty nice day. In fact, it'll probably look nicer than what the Futurecast the modeling is showing here. Temperatures will be in the mid to upper 70s, so near record highs today. Near record highs again tomorrow morning, but then the cool air starts to come on in, and look what happens. 50s for highs on Sunday. Then look at Monday and Tuesday. We're dropping down to freezing. So we've had this whole last week where it's felt a whole lot like springtime. Now we have spring-like storms for tonight and tomorrow. But after that, we get back to January, and we're looking at much chillier temperatures for next week. I'll have a lot more on this coming up later in the show.
Thank you, Matt. It is officially Mardi Gras season. I know it's hard to believe, but it is time to let the good times roll. The city of Saraland doing just that with its 3rd annual Mardi Gras tree lighting. The Krewe of Sparta hosted the event at Saraland Town Center Park last night. Saraland's Mardi Gras parade is set for Valentine's Day this year, February 14th. It starts at noon, followed by their Mardi Gras ball. Krewe of Sparta is Saraland's Mystic Society and, of course, is named after the Saraland High School Spartans. Lots of fun out there. And don't forget, Mobile's Mardi Gras tree lighting ceremony gets underway this weekend. Be sure to bring your family and friends to experience the lighting of the Mardi Gras tree and an exciting brass band showcase as well. The event kicks off tomorrow at Mardi Gras Park with festivities that start at 5:30. You can learn much more on our website, fox10tv.com. And with Mardi Gras season here, that means king cakes are making their grand return. Bakeries across the Gulf Coast are getting ready for another busy season. The season officially started on Monday. That's January 6th, the traditional start of Mardi Gras. But for many, eating king cake before then is actually bad luck. Then there's the baby. Whoever finds it has to buy next year's cake. Kat Allen owns Bunny Bread's Bakery, and she's already fielding orders from more than 1,000 customers. Most follow her on social media.
It's a lot, and it's getting bigger and bigger every year. Everybody has a king cake. You can get a king cake at every corner you go by. I want to bring what's different about king cakes, different things that you don't see anywhere else.
And per usual, demand will only grow as we inch closer and closer to Fat Tuesday. That's February 17th this year. It's 11:21 on your Friday. After the break, why a new mailing change could impact your next package. Stick around for the details. You're watching Fox 10 Midday. Welcome back. Changes at the post office could make your mail a day late. The U.S. Postal Service will no longer stamp mail the day you drop it off. Instead, it will use the date it reaches a processing facility. USPS says the change just cuts costs and emissions, but it could mean your mail sits an extra day. Experts advise you to send tax returns or mail-in ballots with specific deadlines a day or two earlier, or ask a mail clerk to manually postmark the letter to ensure it arrives on time, something to make a note of there. And the start of tax season has an official date, with tax experts warning the importance of filing extra early this year. Tax season, which marks the period when people can file their 2025 taxes, is set to begin on January 26th. Some tax experts say the filing process could face delays, though, this year, after tens of thousands of IRS workers were laid off last year. While experts say it's important to file early, the agency says it has updated its systems to improve filing efficiency. The average tax return in 2025 was around $3,100. Acting IRS Commissioner Scott Bessent says it will likely increase this year because of provisions enacted in last summer's tax and spending package. In the meantime, General Motors says it will lose another $6 billion as a result of its decision to pull back on electric cars. On top of a $1.6 billion charge disclosed in October, GM and other automakers had invested heavily in electric vehicles, expecting strict Biden-era environmental rules and state bans on gas-powered cars. GM had originally planned to go all electric by 2035, but the Trump administration has rolled back zero emissions rules and EV incentives. GM has not yet announced any discontinued EV models, factory closures, or other job cuts. Thanks for staying with us on Fox 10 Midday on this Friday. Investors are bracing for earnings season. We have that story and more approaching in your business news. Plus, sweaters shrinking after washing is a common problem for many. Today, the Queen of Clean shows us how to unshrink them after the break. Matt will be busting out those sweaters again this weekend.
Some folks, well, I don't wear sweaters. Don't do sweaters. All right, so let's go ahead and do your severe risk here for today. What you need to know, looking at level 2 risk in parts of our area. This is going to be very limited. I want to put that out there. It's going to be mainly for our inland counties and for certain inland counties. And I won't confuse you. I will break it all down for you straight ahead here on Fox 10 Midday.
On the next Investigate TV Plus, a warning from half a world away about the dangers of a highly contagious yet preventable infection.
It broke me to a million pieces.
We examine the lessons learned about the deadly virus to understand why this happened and what the United States can learn from it.
Committed to you. This is Fox 10 Midday.
Welcome back in on your Friday. It's time for your half-hour headlines. First, U.S. military officials say our forces boarded another oil tanker in the Caribbean Sea today. The vessel is known as the Olena. According to U.S. Southern Command, the pre-dawn action was carried out by U.S. Marines and the Navy. The Olena is the 5th tanker that has been seized by U.S. forces as part of a broader effort by President Donald Trump's administration to control the distribution of Venezuela's oil products globally following the U.S. ouster of President Nicolas Maduro in a surprise nighttime raid. And then the happiest place in the world got a little scary for some monorail riders. Dozens of passengers were left stranded on the Disneyland monorail in Anaheim, California, when it lost power just last night. It took emergency crews about an hour to safely evacuate about 60 people who had to get down using a fire truck ladder. A Disneyland Resort spokesperson reportedly said the monorail's beam lost power, impacting 2 trains, but thankfully no injuries were reported in that scary situation. Well, we now know one half of the college football playoff championship. The Miami Hurricanes beating the Ole Miss Rebels 31-27 last night in Arizona. Quarterback Carson Beck ran into the end zone for the game-winning touchdown with just 24 seconds left on the clock. This is the first time since the 2001 season that Miami will play for a national championship. They will play the winner of tonight's game between the Oregon Ducks and Indiana Hoosiers. I know we have some coworkers here who are a little disappointed in that game, especially if you're an Ole Miss fan. Well, the low hire, low fire job market continues this morning. Investors brace for earnings season, and Americans are hitting the brakes on their New Year's resolutions already. Jerry Willis has today's business headlines.
The first clean read of the job market since the government shut down in September shows employers holding back on hiring. A weaker than expected 50,000 jobs were added last month. The unemployment rate dropped more than expected to 4.4%. Revisions for November and October showed 76,000 fewer jobs added. For all of 2025, 584,000 jobs were added. Jobs were added in healthcare and social assistance. Manufacturing, though, lost 8,000 jobs. Construction lost 11,000, and retail lost 25,000. Big bank earnings kicking off next week. J.P. Morgan reporting Tuesday, followed by Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and Citi on Wednesday. America's largest banks expected to see larger fourth quarter profits, fueled by a surge in investment banking revenue as deal making accelerates.
We think that this year is going to be about fundamentals and not the Fed, and earnings growth is going to drive stock prices this year.
And we're already at the time of the year when most Americans abandon their New Year's resolutions. But if you're still sticking with it, the most popular New Year's resolutions this year are to save more money, eat healthier, exercise more, and lose weight. And if you're one of the quitters, there's always next year. Jerry Willis, Fox Business.
All right, here is a live look down on Fairhope, I should say. And look at all the cars there. Oh, it is busy right now. Folks enjoying the pretty spring-like weather. I can imagine it's really nice to go for a walk out there at the newly improved park there at the pier in Fairhope. All right, so let's go ahead and get to your Storm Tracker Alert Day. Here is the good news with all this. This is looking more and more, or at least for most of us, I should say, more and more likely that it's going to be very limited in nature today. Now, tomorrow, a little different story, but today, it's pretty well limited to the very northern part of our viewing area. Now, tomorrow, it'll be more of a generalized thing, but the risk will also be lower for severe weather tomorrow. So here's what we're talking about. Here's the setup for today. This is the model running in a loop, just so you can kind of see where the storms are going over and over and over again through the same areas. And it's mostly through central Mississippi, and then kind of just brushing up against Greene County, Washington County, Clark County. That's the areas I think we'll see the most weather today, most of the heavier thunderstorms here as we go through the day. They'll see different waves of those as we go through the day. Now, the rest of us, which is 95% of our viewing area, probably going to have a fairly quiet day. I mean, it's going to be a few showers, no doubt about it. We're going to have some scattered showers. You can see those showing up there on the loop, but nothing widespread. Nothing severe, most likely. So a lot better for most of us here today. So once again, you can see the action is up here in northern Washington County, and parts of Clark County, parts of Greene County. This is where the storms are moving through now. And like I said, there'll be more. This is like a train rolling down. In fact, let me go backwards here. Kind of got ahead of myself here. You can see back. That's actually that crimson box there. That's a flash flood warning, and that's going to be part of the issue too, because these are going over the same spots over and over again, like trains rolling down the tracks, and that's going to cause issues as well. We're going to be kind of on the outside of any flooding concerns, but certainly some of the stronger storms could impact Millbrae, Chatham, Coffeyville, these areas as we go through the day today. And you'll see that on the Futurecast, same spots over and over again, dealing with the bad weather for today. Now let's move into tomorrow, because then things change. The whole system gets a kick, and it finally starts to move tomorrow morning. Now more of us are getting into the rain and the thunderstorms. That said, tomorrow will be a lower risk of severe weather. It's going to be a level 1 risk tomorrow. So just isolated chances of severe weather with all this, but we'll keep an eye on it for you through the morning. And by around lunchtime, hopefully things are beginning to wind down at that point. So hopefully, because the model's like each time we get a new model to run, it like keeps the rain around an hour or two longer into Saturday afternoon. We like to just get rid of it, right? That's the hope. And then once that passes by, temperatures will cool off. But today is going to be very warm, very muggy. Temperatures well up into the 70s this afternoon. Those rain chances you see, we're probably going to lower them a little bit for most of us, because once again, it won't be the widespread deal today. Tomorrow it will be. Tomorrow I'll have plenty of rain around for your Saturday. Like I said, just keeping my fingers crossed, trying to be optimistic that somewhere around lunchtime it wraps up and not 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But we'll see. And then after that's done, cold air comes in. We get back to January weather. Sunday's highs only in the 50s. Monday and Tuesday morning, look at that, dropping all the way down to freezing. So I hope you've enjoyed the spring-like weather. We get back to January next week.
Well, the Even Flow company has issued a voluntary recall for nearly 75,000 of its all-for-one 4-in-1 convertible car seat. The affected products were manufactured between January 2022 and June 2024. According to a National Highway Traffic Safety Administration report, there are concerns that the car seat might shift when it's rear-facing. Even Flow says there have been no reports of injuries linked to the recalled seats yet, and the company says it will start mailing out letters to affected owners beginning January 26th, offering a free replacement. The company says you do not have to return the seats and that they are, quote, safe to continue using in the meantime. The company adds if it is rear-facing, just make sure no one puts their fingers in the recline mechanism. Well, more than 400,000 Volvos have been recalled because of an issue with the rear view camera. The recall affects multiple models from 2021 to 2025 model years. Those include the XC60, XC90, and cross-country models, among others. Safety officials saying the rear view camera image may not appear when the car is in reverse. Instead, the display will have a message saying the camera is temporarily not available, which is a violation violation of a federal motor vehicle safety standard. As of last month, no accidents or injuries had been reported as a result of the issue. Vehicle owners will get a notice in the mail by February 16th. Volvo dealers will install a new software update free of charge there. Has this ever happened to you? You try on a sweater at the store and it fits perfectly, but after washing it, it shrinks. Today, the Queen of Clean shows us how to unshrink a sweater.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it, I shrunk my sweater. Thank goodness I'm the Queen of Clean and I've got a solution to that problem. What you're going to need is 2 basins of warm water. Into the first one, we're going to put a couple of really generous squirts of baby shampoo and just mix that in a little bit. Then we're going to take our sweater, fold it so it fits, sit it in, and just let it slowly sink to the bottom on its own. Now, this is going to take a while, so you're going to want to walk away for about 15 minutes or so and come back once the sweater is in the bottom of the bin. The reason we're letting the sweater sink to the bottom on its own without pushing it is that the fibers of the sweater are slowly absorbing the baby shampoo and the water, and they're opening up so that eventually when we're done, we will be able to easily resize the sweater back to the size that it originally was before it shrunk. Okay, we're back. We've waited 15 minutes for this to sink to the bottom. Now we're going to take it out of the baby shampoo solution and put it into the rinse. And to do that, we don't want to squeeze it or wring it. We want to gently just take it into our hands like this and lift it from this solution gently into this solution, lay it out, and again, we're just going to kind of let it sink into that water. And this time you can gently help ease it down into it. Once it's down in the water and it's rinsed out, we're going to lift it out, and this is the important part. This is where we're going to resize it. We're going to lift it out of that water gently, just with our hands again. No wringing, no stretching. We're going to move it over onto a towel. Lay it out on the towel, and you don't have to reshape at this point. We're just going to get that water out. And to do that, we're going to bring the towel up, and I'm just going to gently roll the sweater in the towel. And I'm going to roll it back and forth a little bit to get the most of the water out. You can pat down on it, just don't wring or squeeze. Once we've done that, then we're going to take our sweater and we're going to start and we're going to stretch it out. We're going to pull on that sweater to get it back to the size we need it. Now, if you're not sure, take a sweater that fits and lay it over it till you get it to the right size. As you can see, look at the difference I've already made in this. And if you need to stretch the sleeves, go ahead. Stretch those sleeves out too. Get it stretched well. You're going to leave it there and let it dry. Come back to it if you need to and stretch it a little more. Once the sweater's dry, it's going to be the same size as it used to be, and your problem is solved. For more information, go to queenofclean.com. Thanks for talking dirty with the Queen of Clean.
All right, some good tips there, especially if you plan on bringing out your sweater when it cools off this weekend. It's 11:42. We are approaching lunchtime. Thanks for staying with us on Fox 10 Midday. Coming up, a documentary on Mel Brooks, this year's Directors Guild Award nominees, and the return of the Puppy Bowl. It's approaching in your Hollywood Minute. Plus, there's a new Girl Scout cookie this year. We've got the yummy details for you after the break. Welcome back in. Girl Scouts are unboxing a brand new cookie flavor for 2026. As this year's national cookie season kicks off, you will now see Explore Mores alongside fan favorites in the lineup. This is a Rocky Road ice cream inspired sandwich cookie filled with flavors of chocolate, marshmallow, and toasted almond flavored cream. Girl Scout cookie season runs from January through April. Something to try. Those look delicious. Well, astronomers have a new theory about a mysterious unknown astronomical object known as Cloud 9. Scientists say Cloud 9 appears to be a starless cloud dominated by dark matter. Dark matter is believed to make up 85% of the total matter in the universe and can be detected due to its gravitational effects. Cloud 9 was first discovered 3 years ago, but a new report says the object is the result of a failed galaxy. Scientists came to that conclusion after seeing Hubble telescope pictures, which revealed a lack of stars. Astronomers say the research could lead to a better understanding of dark matter, how galaxies are formed, and how the universe was formed as well. A beautiful picture there and a pretty interesting fact. Well, in today's entertainment news, a comedy legend, the year's top directors, and the return of the Puppy Bowl. Here's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
Now, why did you become a comedian? Sex. I see.
The one and only Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks, the 99-year-old man, looks at the comedy legend's extraordinary life and career, featuring new interviews and rare archival footage. The two-part documentary premieres January 22nd on HBO and HBO Max.
What the hell going on? Oh, we heard tale of a party.
Nominations are out for the Directors Guild of America Film Awards. Ryan Coogler for Sinners, Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another, Guillermo del Toro for Frankenstein, Josh Safdie for Marty Supreme, and Chloe Zhao for Hamnet. The 78th Annual DGA Awards take place February 7th.
I'm sailing away.
This year's Puppy Bowl is set. It's Team Rough versus Team Fluff, plus 15 pups with special needs, and Team Oldies versus Team Goldies, spotlighting senior dogs available for adoption. 150 dogs from more than 70 shelters take the field February 8th on Animal Planet. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
I love it. I feel like there are two groups. You either watch the Super Bowl or you watch the Puppy Bowl, and it should be a fun one this year. Listen, it's 11:49 on your Friday now. We are taking a live look out at Dauphin Island. Still some sunshine out there. Quite the muggy Friday we have today. We'll be back with another look at your forecast and more headlines after this. You're watching Fox 10 Midday. Get ready for a blast from the not-so-distant past. Kids cracked open a time capsule that needed just a little more time to marinate. We're talking a treasure trove from the era when boy bands and pop princesses ruled. Patrick Cornell has the story that might make you feel a little old in today's Take a Look at This.
Check out middle school students in Pennsylvania cracking open an ancient time capsule dating all the way back to the year 2000. 2000? As in 26 years ago? You know, the good old days of yesteryear when old-timey bands The Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, and Britney Spears ruled the airwaves?
I'm seeing a lot of magazines, you know, especially Britney Spears. That's like what I'm most interested in.
These kids make me feel ancient, but at least they have good taste. Among the very old-fashioned items discovered by the youth, a cassette tape, floppy disk, and a cell phone.
And when you would type this in, all that would come across here were the numbers. Could you text me? No, gosh, no.
Not forgotten, the wisdom of their time capsuling ancestors.
Now most people are always at the mall, and then in 2025, the mall will come to you.
Nailed it. To use a kid word, the whole experience let them feel the vibe at the turn of the century.
It makes it seem like everything was like more joyful back then, kind of.
And teachers appreciate letting the kids know they can leave their own legacy.
The fact that everybody in the building had their name on something, this shows these kids that everybody's important.
Another heavy dose of nostalgia popping up on display, a unique collection of Pez dispensers now available for viewing at a library in Palm Springs, California. You'll find classic Disney characters, presidential Pez portraits, and more contemporary options among the curated candy collectibles belonging to part-time resident Don Yeager. Pez dispensers started in Austria in 1927 as a breath mint to curb smoking. It wasn't until the 1950s Pez started U.S. operations, transforming and kicking off the pop culture candy craze in America that we know. For Take a Look at This, I'm Patrick Cornell.
Listen, I'm proud to say I recognized everything in that story. I know I'm young, but there's that.
Yeah, you don't remember 2000 too well.
No, I don't. I was born that year, so
I graduated college that year. All right, let's go ahead and hit to what we're going to be dealing with out there today. The radar, we got showers out there going right now. You can see mainly off to the north and west of us. And that's where most of this action is going to happen today. This is going to be kind of a limited deal where most of the heavier thunderstorms are going to be pretty far inland, up around Groveville, Coffeyville, Thomasville, Millbury, Chatham, State Line, Leakesville. These are the areas that are going to experience most of the showers and storms today. Meanwhile, the rest of us actually have a pretty decent day, I think, for the most part. There will be some scattered showers, but we won't have the rain that they have up there. Saturday, tomorrow, a bit of a different deal. Be more of a widespread rain event, so just be prepared for it. You're likely to have to deal with some rain and some thunderstorms tomorrow. There is going to be a low level risk of severe weather tomorrow, but it's even lower than today, so the concern level there isn't very high, but there'll be more storms around for all of us, so that'll be Saturday. And then after that passes, we're going to get much chillier air blasting in Sunday. I didn't put the little icon on there. It's likely to be pretty breezy on Sunday. And then Monday and Tuesday, look at that. We'll be dropping down to around freezing in the morning, so the kids going back to school will be like, wait a minute, what's going on? After a full week of springtime, now we're going back to actual January weather next week, and it'll be much chillier. But until we get there, like I said, we got to get through some of these storms today. Once again, just want to get out there that most of these storms will happen pretty far inland for parts of, around Coffeyville, Clark County, Washington County, Greene County. So these are the areas that I expect the most of the weather here today. It won't be as widespread. So the good news for a lot of us, the other 95% of our viewers, is that most of us will have a pretty decent day. But one small sliver, the very northern part of our viewing area, will get some rough storms today, and we'll definitely be tracking that for you throughout the day. Meteorologists Hannah Fink and Nicholas Herboso will both be in today tracking those. I'll be back in tomorrow morning tracking as all these storms go through for our Saturday morning as well. The hope here, Ashlyn, is that we will have these storms wrapping up in the afternoon tomorrow, and that's when we'll start to see some improvements. But some of the models are keeping the rain pretty far into the afternoon. So hopefully, fingers crossed, so we get some decent weather on our Saturday, but it may be pretty wet most of the day.
Great to know. As always, we want to push download the Fox 10 weather app as well, especially right now. Thanks for spending time with us on Fox 10 Midday. We'll see you on Fox 10 Live at 3, taking a live look outside at the beach. Happy Friday.